The healthcare and digital health investing landscape has changed, over the course of the last, 4 or 5 years, in that it's brought in a lot more of the traditional tech and IT investors into the fold, looking at healthcare systems, predominantly healthcare markets.
We have a bunch of not just medtech, but high technology venture firms that are entering into the market, investing in companies. We also have large caps, both from the traditional medtech perspective, but also from the likes of Cisco and Sun and Ericsson and others that are very interested in finding solutions to the problems that the healthcare environment is facing.
There's a number of factors that are driving the increased flurry of activity, I would say, in mobile health. One of them is it's viewed that healthcare is sort of one of the last great frontiers that's been unconquered by technology. So you see a lot of, for entrepreneurs, that's sort of an irresistible target. And another thing is just in general, I would say, the most expensive way of delivering healthcare is in a clinical setting, like in a hospital. And so from a cost-saving standpoint, it certainly makes sense to move care out of the hospital. And so if you can put a mobile device on a patient and actually monitor them outside the hospital, that's a much more effective, cost-effective way of monitoring them.
There is an overarching screaming need for solutions that are less costly, smarter, and more efficient. And really that is coming from a variety of factors. One of the factors that everybody talks about is the spiraling costs in the healthcare system. Other factors are enabling, like the emergence of convergent technologies that are bringing capabilities to the field that never existed before. And also there are things like the involvement of the patient in the center of the decision-making process that is also driving solutions in order to get them more involved, more accountable in the healthcare system. So when you look at the macro environment as well as some of the micro elements here that I've talked about, that is really fueling innovation as well as investment in the field.
There is technology infiltrating everything now, and it's what's causing certainly acceleration and improved efficiencies in systems, and hopefully a way in which to solve long-standing healthcare system-wide problems that have been sort of acknowledged by policy changes and the immediate attention it's received, but also suddenly a belief that you can make money here by quickly moving into solving old sort of systemic problems.
Well, it's hard to say whether or not the trend in funding will continue. Right now, it's a little bit at the beginning of the Gartner hype cycle in the sense that there's sort of this, we're sort of a little bit of irrational exuberance with the proliferation of companies. I think in order for the funding to continue, there is going to have to be some more exit activity. So more companies being bought or going public in this space to effectively return capital to the investors. Until I think investors start making more money off of this space, it's going to be difficult to say. It's a little bit cloudy. I'd say the forecast is cloudy for whether or not the funding will continue in such a healthy amount.
I think it's here to stay. I think, like everything, there is a little bit of a collective herd mentality where a lot of venture funds and large caps are entering into this field either as acquirers or investors. And some of the companies that are being funded right now, you scratch your head a little bit because of either a lack of business plan or a little bit of a hope and pray attitude. But it's like everything else. It's accelerating. There's a little bit of a bubble, but it will stabilize at some point in time, and it's here to stay.
When it comes to raising money for mobile health companies and advice I would give an aspiring innovator and entrepreneur, I think, is really do your homework. I think sort of the best companies and the companies that you want to take a bet on, even if they're first-time CEOs or first-time founders, and even if they don't have a product yet but just an idea, are those that can really give you confidence that they are going out, finding the critical questions to answer, getting answers to those questions, and then telling a story around how they would go about solving those problems, as a product or as a service.